All right, welcome everybody. Today we're going to be learning how to make our piano play songs for us or pre-recorded. And I'll show you some places to find some songs. We'll start with all the same songs so we can kind of practice together. All right, let's do this thing. So first thing we want to do is our code is starting to get a little bit long and complicated. We could just add to the bottom here. We could just add the code we want to add straight to the bottom and just keep making it longer and longer. But it might get a little complicated in terms of like how well it's set up. So we're going to try something a little different here. We're going to move this first part of the code into its own tab up here, and then put the second part of the code in its own tab as well. And then let this main code choose when to run those two tabs. So it's kind of like we're creating what's called a function. We've done it before in Vex. And let's see how it works. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this sketch. I'm going to add an INO file. So when you hit the plus up here at the top, find the one that says add sketch file.ino. I'm going to click on it, and we're going to call this I don't know, play piano. I'm going to hit enter. So that just gave ourselves, we just named this tab right here, play piano. And at the top, we're going to create what's called a function definition. So we're going to type in the word void, and then keep it the same name as up here. So then we're going to do play piano, and open close parentheses, and open close curly brace, and now we're inside void play piano. This void, all it does is says, hey, we're creating a variable or a function called play piano that can run later. And all a function is a series of lines of code that you can call up anytime you'd like without having to copy and paste them. So I'll show you that process in a second. What we're going to put in here though is all of our code from the void loop. This part's key, so be careful with this part. We want to come up here to the void loop, and we're just going to grab everything inside the void loop, leaving this one last curly brace at the end. So I left the first curly brace up here by void loop and the last curly brace here at the bottom. I'm going to do Control X to cut, and then click over to play piano, go inside the void play piano, and go Control V for paste. Okay, so that's all of our play piano code that we need in order to actually hear the beep, 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 do the piano stuff. All right, so let's forget about that for just a second. And now let's think through what we want to do with the overall code. Now we're going to have a mode button that goes between us playing the piano and the piano just playing the recorded song for us. To do that, we need to be able to read the mode button. So first thing I'm going to do is come up here and create a couple variables. So integer mode button pin equal, and wherever you have your mode button plugged in on the Arduino, put that pin number. I'm going to go 7 on mine. Copy this down here. So we create a variable and sets the starting value. That's the purpose of this. And then here we need one more integer, and of course we're going to do this one as the mode button val. Or maybe just mode value. Or val, even easier. And we're going to set the mode to 0 to start with. And then, whoops, Control V. So the starting value, actually on this comment, let's just say what the modes are going to be. So mode 0 is piano, and mode 1 is song playback. Okay. All right, so now we know what our modes are going to be, and now let's go ahead and go down and do some coding. So first thing we need to do is we need to read the button pin to see if it's being pressed or not. So this is going to be a digital read, and we're going to come up here and say we're going to read the mode button pin. And of course, Arduino is so stupid, it'll forget the value high or low right away, so we need to store it somewhere. And so we're going to need actually another variable, integer. This is what I wanted to make it before. Mode button val equal, and we'll start it off low because our button won't be pressed to start with. Let's copy and paste this here. All right, let me spell that correctly. Mode button val. All right, so now we'll say Control C, and we'll paste it down here with an equal sign. Remember, the equals doesn't mean equals, it means take whatever you get on the right and store it in the variable on the left. So digital read is going to either read high or low, depending on whether the button is pressed or not. Then it's going to store that information, the high or low value, in the mode button val. Okay. And now we can actually just do a quick serial print. Serial.print ln, and we can print the mode button val. Oop, let's put some comments in here. I'm going to put a comment. I'm actually open up some space to get me off that first row. And let's say this reads the mode button and stores the value. And then this just prints the mode value or the mode button value on the screen. At this point, I suggest that you just pause, upload this code, and see. I'll do a quick check on mine. I don't actually have a piano that I've built, so I can't test it out. I can test for errors in the code, which seems the code seems clean right now. But test it out, open up serial print, and see if when you push the mode button, you're going from 0 to 1 whenever you press it. All right. Once you're ready for that, hit play and jump back in here. All right, now that we know that the mode button is working, we're going to actually start our code. And this main code is just going to be about determining what's being done next. So let's just say if the mode val. So here, this is the actual what mode we're in. This is whether the button is being pressed or not, the mode button val. This is what mode we're in, either 0 or 1. If mode val equals 0, let's do that. Equal. Remember, the double equal is asking the question, is it equal to it? So it's going to return either a true or a false, a yes or a no. If mode value equals 0, curly braces. Inside here, if it's equal to 0, we need to run this piano code. So I'm going to come up here to the very top, and I'm going to just grab my play piano right here. Not the curly brace, just the play piano, open close parentheses. Copy and paste that over, and I'm going to put that right in here. Semicolon. Runs the play piano code. So this is a way I can call all of that code from this whole tab. I call it right here with just one line of code. So by hiding it over here, I can keep things more organized and keep my main code really sleek. So now if mode equals 0, and this is play the piano mode, it runs the play piano code. Perfect. Now I'm going to say else. Let's see. Else let's say else if mode val equal 1. Yep, that'll work. We'll do the other one now. Enter. And then in here, we need to do the other part, which is the play the song code. But we haven't written any of that code yet, but let's create a place for it. So up here, I'm going to click on this plus and add an I and O sketch. And I'm going to call this one play song. So just like play piano here, play song here, hit enter. And then let's go ahead and create that code. So void, that tells Arduino when you type in void that you're creating a new function so it knows it can use that function later. There are other starts, so well, let's not talk about that. We'll just talk about void for now. And then I'm going to call this one play song, just like before. And here, open, close, curly brace, enter to open up some space. And now I've got void play song. I've got my function set up here. I can come back to my keyboard. Well, let me actually copy and paste. I'm going to copy this function name over here, back to my main code. If mode value equal 1, Control V, play song, semicolon, space or slash, and then here, oops, notice that typo. And there, runs the piano code, Control C, and whoops, need a slash. I'm just going to do some of this. Play, let's see, there should be song there, and play the song mode. Maybe run there makes more sense. I'm not playing anything. All right. So those are our mode selectors. And then maybe let's do one more. Let's just say, just in case our mode val gets screwed up and isn't 0 or 1, it's a good catch-all. Let's just do an else. And then we don't need, because there's no else if. An else just means anything else that happens. Let's just set the mode val to 0. So the only time that we would hit into this else is if our mode val somehow went from like more than 1. So it went to 2 or something. So then this will set mode val back to 0. Sets mode val back to 0. Okay. So we shouldn't ever need this, but it's good to have that in there because, you know, if mode val ever does get to be not to be 0 or 1, it'll stop working because our code only has things for 0 and 1. All right. Back. It's misspelled. Oh, my K is not working well. All right. So now we have that. That's going to determine which of these two tabs that we're going to run later. So either piano or play song. And now we need to actually change the mode val. So here we go, tab. And we have 2 new LEDs, I believe. So we have a song LED. So let's go integer song LED. Whoops. Actually, let's do piano LED pin equal. And whatever pin you've plugged yours into, I'm going to go ahead and say mine's in 10, or I say 11. Copy one of these kind of generic comments here. And then let's go ahead and get another one. Control C, Control V, and I'm going to put mine in 12. Okay, so then we're going to call this one the song LED pin. So these are the 2 locations where our LEDs are plugged in. So trace your LEDs back to Arduino and find those numbers. Every time. All right. And then let's add in 2 pin modes for those. And I think we'll pause this video for now. Enter, Control V, enter, Control V. I'm going to tab over. And so I'm going to put the piano LED pin in this one, and the song LED pin in this one. And we need to define those as both outputs so that we can actually turn them on and off. Oh, I made a typo up here. These should all be output. Oh, yay. I love it when I copy and paste a typo. Control C. I'll fix that real quick. All right, so these 2 are inputs, the rest are outputs. Everything else looks really good. All right, so I think we'll kind of hold off there. So we've kind of set up the notion that we've gotten our LEDs ready. we've gotten the overall structure ready and we've gotten our 2 tabs ready, we'll start actually doing some of that song. Well, we'll need to do the mode button first. So we need to be able to change the mode from 0 to 1 every time. And then from there, we will kick into making the actual play song code. All right, good job. Hang in there.